This may turn into a rant. I don't know. I've had a lot of thoughts about this show. Like from when I first, well, we heard about this show like years ago that it was going to happen. At first, it was going to be a movie. Then it got rewritten a few times. And what we got here, it seems like when you watch it, that this was the first draft, you know, because so many lapses in logic, got by the editors. Do they even have editors on this show? That's what I want to know. Because, yeah, so many things happen in the show that make no sense. But let me start at the beginning. Okay, I went into this having low expectations because of Boba Fett. That show was straight up garbage. Like, they treated him like this old relic that didn't know anything about the underworld, even though he had been in it for years, and kind of subservient to the woman that he's with. That's kind of that's on Disney brand though, and they just, I don't know how to put this. So other people can put it better than I can, but you can tell when you're watching it. There's something not right about this. This isn't the same character we watched or read about. You know, saw in these comics. He was a fucking badass, and then you see him in his show, and he's not quite the same. He's not as badass. I can't believe with Boba Fett. It's like they went from the season, what was it, season two, a Mandalorian. Yeah, that's the one he showed up in, and he was badass as fuck. He was killing stormtroopers left and right, you know, in his classic armor. And then we see him in his armor in the show, but he's not, he's just walking around like he's not actually doing shit until the last episode. And then it makes no sense for him to grab the Rancor when he could just grab his ship and blast those people. But, that's okay. Yep. Enough about Boba Fett. That's just one of the problems I had with that. Obi-Wan. Okay, this is one of my favorite characters. He's always been one of my favorite characters. Him, Yoda, R2, Leia, Lando, some of my favorite characters. Oh my god, Lando's next. They're doing a Lando series. I totally fucking forgot. I didn't want to show my face in this video because I'm pretty upset, and I've been wanting to vent about this like for a while. Ever since I watched like just the first couple of episodes got me upset because I'm like, why are all the characters so stupid? Like, what? Why is Obi-Wan like wanting to bury his lightsaber in the sand and at the same time train Luke? Like, how does that make any sense? You know, like he tells Owen the boy must be trained, but at the same time he's like cutting himself off from the Force. Like, what the fuck? This isn't. They're trying to make him like they made Luke in the Last Jedi, where he's like, "Oh, the Jedi must end," and he actually tells that to the Jedi he finds in the desert, like bury your freaking lightsaber in the sand, man. Like the time of the Jedi is over. But at the same time, he's supposed to be training the savior of the Jedi, like to bring the Jedi back, right? That's the whole goal for the light side to come back. So how does that make any sense for him to tell that guy that? Like, instead of just telling him, run from this like leave this planet, dude. Like, if the Inquisitors are here, just leave. Like, but Obi-Wan can't leave because he's got to watch over Luke, right? That's what we think. He's going to be watching over Luke this whole time. Not so. Like that's why in the trailers they don't show Leia at all. Like, you're not supposed to know she's in this. Okay, you're supposed to think this is Obi-Wan watching over Luke the whole time, right? It's a bait and switch. That's why they call it that. They make you think one thing and then they come in with another fucking thing. Subvert expectations. This has gotten old already. Like, it got old with Last Jedi because that whole movie was about subverting expectations. I tried to convince myself that I liked that movie, but you know, after watching like several times and hearing other people talk about it, I'm like, I'm starting to see all the flaws and the you know everything that doesn't make sense. Like, why would they make Luke into this guy who would murder his nephew? You know, at the slightest hint of the dark side in him. It's like, what? What? The same guy who saved his father, brought him back to the light side. Oh, God. So, Obi-Wan's on Tatooine. He's watching over Luke. We see him watching through the binoculars. Kind of creepy, but whatever. Uh, we see him trying to commune with Qui-Gon. Okay, because they teased that in the little flashback sequence that we see at the beginning. It kind of felt like a trailer of the prequels, even though we've all seen the prequels at this point. Anybody that's watching this has probably seen the prequels, so we know what the fuck's going on. But I'm thinking, okay, they're showing us all this. They're showing us these key points because they're going to be important in the show, right? So, okay, Obi-Wan's going to be trying to commune with Qui-Gon, right? He's going to, continue his training. Not so. Again, subverting expectations. He's not actually training at all. He's just cutting meat at this factory thing, whatever. And okay, so Luke. Okay, this is 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. All right. Now, does he know that Anakin is still alive? Now, what I remember from the EU novels is he doesn't find out that Anakin's still alive and Vader until like a few months later. It's in the Rise of Darth Vader, the Dark Lord novel that James Luceno wrote. That's when he finds out. It's just a few months after Revenge of the Sith, and then there's actually a novel set right after that called Kenobi, where it's him doing what we thought he would be doing in this show, is training, meditating. He's still attuned to the Force. He's hanging out on Tatooine. He thinks it's a bad idea, but then at the end of the novel, that's when Qui-Gon tells him this is the last place Vader would come to, because this would definitely be a place he could be tipped back to the light side, become Anakin again, because this is where he grew up. Everything he knew was here. So yeah, and it's the last place anyone would suspect them to hide one of the children, if there were children, which they don't know. So, anyways, what we first see is a shot of the Jedi Temple during Order 66, and we already know that one of the Inquisitors is going to be one of these kids. Okay, we know that. Definitely going to be the main Inquisitor they've been building up. Her name is Reva, and that's all we know. Okay. So then, cut to the Grand Inquisitor and Reva and the fifth brother landing on Tatooine. It's a first of all, I'm thinking, okay, how did they get here so fast? What brought them here already? Like, what could they know that leads them here? Grand Inquisitor comes in. You know who we are. Inquisitors. You know what we do. You hunt Jedi. In actuality, I would say the Jedi hunt themselves. I'm thinking, okay, this. I guess you're saying they just they come out of hiding because they can't help people, and he says that right off the bat. Let's say, yeah. What is the Jedi to do? Help you and risk exposure, or move on? Now, if he were smart, he'd keep moving, but the Jedi code is like an itch. And I don't mind this actor that's playing the Grand Inquisitor. Some people thought he was, I don't know, phoning it in or whatever, or overacting. But I like those kind of sinister villains that are a little over the top, And I liked the character in Rebels. So, like, okay, at least we'll see him the whole time, because he's still alive in Rebels, and that's after this. Little did I know. Uh, so his compassion has been his undoing. So Riva, right off the bat, we see that Riva is like one of the. She's pretty ruthless, and the Grand Inquisitor tells her that because he sees her just throw that knife at the guy, and the Jedi stops him from killing him. Scraps are all we have left, and we should be hunting bigger prey. I will not warn you again. You will forget this fixation with Kenobi. So why does she have this fixation with Kenobi? I'm wondering that. Why? Did she find out that Anakin was Vader and Kenobi? I don't know. She feels like Kenobi's responsible for the whole thing, for training him. More on this later. I gotta end it.